It's over. Summer is ending. The dead zone of sports is gone. Thank God. And we need to talk about how great college football is. Because in my mind, college football is the greatest sporting event to be broadcast in history. And it's like, why is that? Well, it's just the NFL, let's just go with football. And you can kind of extrapolate it to like any sport, but like I think number one, like football's in big markets. Like you can't have a professional team unless like you luck out like the Green Bay Packers. Right? I can't think of, I mean, unless you want to call like Jacksonville a small market. It's really hard to sustain a professional franchise in a city that's small, especially a football team where you're only playing 7 to 8 home games a year, right? For maybe a third of the year. Okay, so it's really hard to do. So they're in big metro areas. College football is not the same way, right? You've got Denton, Texas has a football team. Fort Worth has a football team. Auburn and Tuscaloosa have a football team, right? Ann Arbor, Michigan. That means that the fan bases are very much intertwined with the school. And that's the other thing is people attended these schools for 4 years and they pass it down to their kids, where their kids go. The alumni base always grows and you have these rivalries that again are more locally defined. Look again at the NFL where it's just like the Dallas Cowboys play the New York Giants. They're in like an entirely different part of the country. They play the Washington Commanders, right? Like, cool. You know? I guess Tampa Bay and New Orleans are close cities, but I know that Georgia and Florida, the universities of, are much closer, right? And their fan bases are much more intertwined. Okay, stadiums. The Big Ten has 3 football stadiums over 100,000 people. That's more than the continent of Europe. Like, think about that. The Big Ten. The Big Ten football conference gets more viewers in the United States than the English Premier League. And this sport goes from, I'm in the Central Time Zone, 11 in the morning till, I mean, we'll see if anything replaces Pac-12 after dark. I think the NBC is trying to get the Big Ten prime time. But even then, you'll get Pac-12 games, Pac-4, whatever we're going to call it, that start at like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock on the East Coast. That's awesome. Like, that is so cool that you can go 12 hours and still be like, man, I got another football game to watch. The football teams, unlike the NFL, college football teams are an entirely different team after 4 years. And yet, like, a lot of them keep the same coaches. Like, if you're a coach in college football and you stay with a program like Nick Saban, Bob Stoops, right? Joe Paterno, you win a title with your team, you get like a statue out front, you know? Like, it's really hard to do that in the NFL. Like, they just turn dudes over. So, like, the tradition, the rivalry, the kickoff times, like, the fan base, the tailgating, we haven't gotten into that, but, like, you get the point. Baseball does not have that. American soccer does not have that. Nothing else in this country or on the planet. I think the English Premier League is close because they've got towns with, like, small towns with teams. Like, it's close and you get relegated. Like, it's close. But it's nothing like this. Like, you don't have Saudi Arabia buying college football teams, you know? Like, another reason why it's so pure and beautiful. I know NIL's changed things, but I don't think it's changed that much. Like, you know, Ohio State always had money. Alabama always had money. They always had ways to be like, yo, you get like a Tempur-Pedic mattress. Like, that's not giving a player money, but, you know, like, they're getting a perk that Toledo can't do. And so that's why we're going to talk about college football every week.